Hello everyone and welcome to another I Pick My Butt video. Today we're playing Archero, and with the recent release of version 1.33 we now have chapter 14, and a lot of people are asking what gear should I be using when going against this 10 level boss battle. First we'll be going over the weapons, and we'll be talking about 3 of the main ones that you should be using with Meowgic, and the reason behind is Meowgic's cats will work with the passive abilities of these weapons. And the first weapon we'll be talking about is the spear. Now where the spear does have a slow attack speed, it is an instant hit, and it does have the scaling ability of its damage when hitting the same type of enemy. So with the boss, it's going to scale up, and along with Meowgic's cats, it's also going to scale up too, which makes this a good item to use. But you can see I personally don't have it at a high enough level or rarity, so I won't be using it in chapter 14. Now the staff is another great one to use, and this is going to be one of the only items that Meowgic's cats will actually crit with. Now it is kind of RNG based, you really want to focus on getting the diagonal arrows, but like I said, with Meowgic, this is a sure win, and this is probably one of the best weapons inside the game. And unlike the spear, this one actually has a knockback, which could really help out in some trouble situations. Now if you don't have either of these items leveled up yet, the next weapon would be to go for is the Death Scythe. Where this is another slow firing weapon, this does have a high damage output with a very nice knockback. And pair this up with Meowgic, and now your cats have the chance of doing a headshot, which might not be good against bosses, but the other downfalls of it too is it can be kind of slow and sluggish, you may miss shots, and this is where the next item I would recommend would be the Brave Bow, where doing a crit build, the numbers are a little bit lower for the bow versus a scythe, but the chances of actually getting the hit are much greater with the attack speed. Really all 4 of these weapons are good, use what you feel most comfortable with. Now as far as armor, I would go with the Phantom Cloak. And where a lot of you are probably now saying, what about the best of dexterity? Well, the Phantom Cloak is going to freeze the enemy when taking damage, and you can pretty much assure yourself that you will be taking hits. The second you take a hit, he'll freeze, and this will allow you to get a couple of hits off and hopefully crit on the boss himself. And if you don't have this leveled up yet, yes, the Vest of Dexterity will be the next one, but really try to focus on getting some numbers put to this. As far as heroes though, on top of Meowgic, the next best bet will be to use Helix, because you are guaranteed the rage ability with this. And as we all know by now, Helix is a solid all-around character, and having that rage ability is really going to help with the numbers, especially when doing damage and getting that crit in. So pick either Meowgic or Helix, whichever one you find is better. Either one should be doing just fine for you during these battles. And when it comes to the rings, we are going to focus on wolf rings. Yes, I said wolf rings, and the reason behind that is the additional 5% crit chance when having them at epic or higher ability. And if you don't have 2 perfect epic level 50 of these sitting around, don't stress about it. Really having that extra level is not going to make that much of a difference. It's like a matter of a couple hundred actual damage done to an enemy. Really though, we're more focused on that crit. If you are worried about it and you have something else, I would suggest using the Falcon Ring in place of one of them. That way you're at least getting the 5% attack speed plus for it. Looking at the pets, we want to focus on Elf and the Bat. Now the reason behind the Elf is it does have a high DPS, although it is slow to fire. It is a great one to use against bosses, but I'm more of a fan of the Bats themselves because they can shoot through walls and it is an instant hit with them. When we're talking bracelets, I would say if you have any that are an epic or higher rarity, you want to use one of those. And if you happen to have a frozen bracelet, definitely use that one. Now the reason we want to use anything that's an epic ability is we're going to get a 15% increase to our crit damage. And if you haven't noticed already, we're really trying to focus this around crit. And as far as the locket, it's a no-brainer, Angel Locket. If you haven't seen my 5 lives in one run, check out the video at the end here. But don't forget, like, subscribe. If you want to watch live chapter 14 runs, follow me over on DLive. We'll be having those as soon as it comes out. But thanks for watching everybody, and remember, I pick my butt.